Did you get me on here to say normal things? Is that why I'm here?
I'm gonna say that again. Makes my stinky parts tingle.
And my gender is Elvis Presley.
Greta Thunberg, Malala, Elizabeth Holmes. These are all the women that no longer invite me to brunch. Welcome to Bad Advice with Olga Koch. I'm your host, Olga Koch, and I got kicked out of Scientology because my ideas were too out there. Bad Advice is a show where I, fortune teller to the stars, and a VIP celebrity guest solve your problems one terrible tip at a time. Our guest today is a massive football fan and actually took me to my first football match. If you haven't been, you must go. It's a darling little game where a group of supple young twinks run around a field in short shorts, occasionally taking their shirts off. What a way to spend an afternoon. I'm told there was a ball there, but I didn't see it. And trust me, I was looking. Oh, sorry, back to our guest. They're the star of Hypothetical, Jonathan Ross's stand-up show, and My Wet Dreams. I always say we have undeniable chemistry, and they agree. We are absolutely toxic for each other. It's the wonderful Chloe Pence!
Hi.
Hi, Chloe, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
What is the worst advice you've ever been given?
I was once told by a man, always by a man, after a gig, that I would do comedy better if I wore a dress.
Oh! That's interesting.
Obviously, like, one of the first jokes I wrote was about me being an alpha male. So I think the guy must have not watched my set and then just came up after and decided that women should just wear dresses as standard, like that should be our uniform.
Otherwise, how can he tell?
Exactly, yeah. I think maybe there was
confusing.
A bit of confusion.
He's like, am I aroused by
him.
this or not? I'm not sure. I need a marker. All right, let's move on to our questions. Sheila from Nottingham writes in, I stayed over at my bang buddy's place and farted so loudly in my sleep that I woke myself up. He was still awake, but I pretended to be asleep. Now he's ignoring my messages. Do I clear the air, so to speak?
I can sort of empathise with Sheila as someone that often wakes myself up on the tube with a single loud snore.
Is there any way you could demonstrate?
I've got it. So, go on Spotify or any other music provider. Get on your phone one of those playlists which is just fart noises.
Grimes is back in the studio doing her fart out.
It's like Picasso's blue period, Grimes' fart period. Yeah, can you turn it up a bit? I can't. Okay. Yeah, I think we got it. And then just get one of your mates to text you while you're with him.
Yeah.
I'd be like, it's my phone again. And then he'll think that he didn't hear you fart, he just heard your ringtone.
I love how absolutely batshit that is.
Did you get me on here to say normal things? Is that why I'm here?
Sheila, set your fart as your own ringtone and then play the ringtone in front of Bay. That way he'll think that you don't fart, but you just have a terrible sense of humor. Next, Sarah from Wolverhampton. I've got into the habit of sitting on my bed after a shower. Sometimes I fall asleep and sometimes I just stare at the wall for hours. How do I train myself to stop doing this?
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Sarah, but I think you might have depression.
But do you ever get that? When you get out of the shower and you sit in your bed in the little towel and you're just zone out?
It's so nice.
It
is so lovely.
Residual heat from the shower?
Yeah. Have a stare at the wall. And it's nice because I think oh, she's gone. I don't know what her problem is. Oh, I've got a moment of peace and quiet in my day. That's what she's saying. If you want advice, whether it be good or bad, then come to me with a problem.
Woof! Sarah, this is our advice. Tabby from Bath writes, I have a crush on my philosophy lecturer. I know our age gap is ethically wrong, but should I shoot my shot? There's just something about the way he wears socks with his Birkenstocks that makes my stinky parts tingle.
I'm gonna put it out there and say that's one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life.
I'm gonna say that again, makes my stinky parts tingle.
Well, initially my response when I heard age gap, philosophy teacher, I was thinking you deserve better. And then she used the phrase stinky parts and I said, you deserve far worse. It's just f***ing gross.
Stinky parts tingle. You make my
How long can you do this for?
Too long.
I'm willing to wait.
I'm not.
I have a crush on my philosophy lecturer. Maybe like package it as a thought experiment.
Go into your philosophy lecture and say, what do you think would be your concept of reality if we...
The longer the words you use, the easier and like more likely it is that he'll say yes, right?
And I'd love to sort of like give an example of that, but I don't know very many long words.
Just over-intellectualize it, that's what we would say there.
Yeah. Or just wear a very low-cut top.
On to our next question. From Jono. Jono?
Jono.
Hey, Jono! He's Jono from Baking Steak.
Baking steak? Jono from Baking Steak.
That's how you all sound to me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Basingstoke.
Did you think there was a place called Baking Steak?
Jono from Basingstoke. I just love the way poo feels when coming out of my bottom. Like, to me, there is no better feeling. What do you think that means for me? Should I tell my doctor? There is no way it should be this pleasurable. I say try it the other way around. It's less messy.
I don't get what Jono's written in. Get as much fibre in as you can and go for it, mate. Just absolutely let loose. I don't care if you buzz off having a poo. What's your problem?
Should I tell my doctor? Imagine getting that phone call. Ding, 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 ding. Stoke Newington GP. What's that?
Have you ever made a phone call before? Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, you pick up the phone and you say ding, ding.
Ding, 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 ding. It's me, Jono again. Yeah, it's the same thing. I just love pooing still. Jono, that's enough. Block this number. If something feels that good in your body, then it's meant to.
Yeah, you should just put your fingers in your bum hole.
Yeah, go on then. That's probably the right advice to give Jono, yeah. Just shove your finger up there. Do you think he's tried it the other way?
That feels like a journey that's just beginning. And it ends in the emergency room because he put something without a flared base up. I think Jono's just discovered his prostate, and it's a very exciting time.
I'm excited for him.
Answer these questions as fast as you can. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What is one thing you pretended to like as a teenager to seem cool?
Oh, I was going to say the band The Feeling, but but that isn't even cool.
Finish the phrase, a little less conversation and a little more.
Action, please.
It could have been Touch My Body by Ariana Grande. There's two genders and it's those two answers.
And my gender is Elvis Presley.
If I wanted to dress up as you for Halloween, what should I wear?
2 denims.
Would you have stayed in the jungle for Tarzan's giant cock?
Absolutely yes, of course.
What is your favorite curse word? Should I have a baby just for the attention?
Obviously yes. Can I father it?
What is the biggest red flag in a romantic or sexual partner?
One of those Formula 1 ones.
What do you think is the biggest red flag about me?
None.
Good.
Sometimes you're really happy and then you start crying. And it's really difficult to know what's going on.
I can confirm this. Have you had a nice time?
Honestly, the best time. I wish we could do this forever.
Thank you for coming to Bad Advice. And here's some good advice. If you ever feel cold and sad, run yourself a bath so you can feel warm inside. Goodbye.